Hello, world. Welcome to WFHR's Rapid Support for this Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. Show is proudly brought to you by Crockett Septic. I have your host, James, here. We're joined right now by our friends from UW-Madison Extension Wood County. We have Kazuo with us right now, bilingual community health worker. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, James?
Doing good. Appreciate the time as always, and appreciate your patience with your name and me and all that. You're always too good to me. I appreciate it, and really appreciate the subject matter that you bring in. We oftentimes, you and I, get a chance to touch on a subject that we don't get to very often in society. A lot of gray areas you and I cover, and today is no different. We're going to get into a really interesting thing. We cope. Can you tell us what that is, Kazuo?
Yeah, so WeCope is a evidence-based program that was developed by the University of Madison Extension, and this program is specifically designed to help adults cope with the different challenges in life, right? And so it really taps into the power of positivity. Instead of looking at things from the negative side of things, as we humans we do normally, and we try to spin things and have the folks that we talk to and the participants look at the stressors of life from a different lens. And, that different lens, that positive lens, really truly does make a difference in how you see things.
Mm-hmm. It's a really interesting approach to this, and it really piggybacks on something that's been a big part of our society for years now, in talking about mental health, and that we're at a stage now in the game where we're talking about it in a raised voice. We're not hushed anymore. We're not shy about sharing these things as much. But this is where the real work comes in now. Now that we've gotten the topic out there, now. Bring awareness to it, talking about it, that's great. But now we got to start looking in the mirror and got to start looking at ourselves and everything. And growing up, I come from a family that has some issues, manic depression, some depression, some of those things in my family's history. So I was aware of this from a very young age. And we've talked about mental health in my family for decades. It's always been a thing for us. And many families out there can relate to that. When it comes to being born this way with the brain that I got and stuff, and realizing very early on that I had a chemical imbalance, it was something that I grew up seeing broken bones all the time. My dad was an athlete. I could understand that. I couldn't understand the broken bone in my brain. I couldn't understand that. You couldn't physically see it. And it began something for me, a journey that I'm on still to this day. I got a certain point in my 20s where I was tired of being me. I was tired of that mood. I was tired of the approach I had to life. I didn't look at the glasses half empty or half full. I'm like, oh, that's all I got to drink? How am I going to make that last? I'm so thirsty. And it was a negative approach. And I got tired of being negative. I got tired of that. And I got, quite honestly, I got tired of my friends and family expecting that from me and being that. I didn't like being predictable. That was part of it. Yes. So I sit there, like many do out there, and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, well, this is how I've been for 20 some years. I'm never going to change. But I did. You can rewire your brain. You really can do this. I started approaching every morning, trying to look at positives. What am I thankful for? What am I, even the most simple thing of waking up. And it began this thing that started to happen in my brain to where I am today, where now negative things happen. And I immediately, it's like a literal reflex in my brain. I think of, well, at least this didn't happen, or at least this, I find some way to turn that positive, some way. I don't take away the negativity. It's not like I'm walking around all day smiley or anything like that. Anybody around me could tell you this. But my approach is so vastly different. And anybody that knew me 30 years ago to now would not even recognize me as a person with how much I've grown in that way. I still got work to do. I'm still working on it every day, but it is so much better. My life is so much better. My kids enjoy me around so much more. It can happen. Even when you have these chemical imbalances, even when it feels like it's something out of your hands, you can do this. You can accomplish this. It begins with you, but you're not alone in it either.
Yeah, 100%, James. And thank you for being vulnerable. Really, like you said, you hit it right on the spot. It doesn't happen overnight. It really, truly doesn't. It does take a huge mind shift change. And it really takes the support of those around you, right? For if those around you who are constantly, if they notice that you're trying to make this shift, this change to be more positive and have a better outlook on life, and they're constantly dragging you down, are they truly the people that you want to be around with, right? And so you have to surround yourself with who want to make that positive change. And so this is one thing with We Cope too. And I teach it now, but before I taught it, I wanted to take the course itself to see how it benefited people. And I'm going to give you a minute of my vulnerability. I am a mental health survivor. And so, and I've been struggling with my own mental health since my early teens, really. And being where I am today, I credit it to myself and the people around me, but also to We Cope. It's been a little over a year since I've taken this We Cope class, but I still carry a lot of these lessons with me day to day. And, one of the biggest things with this class, this program that we teach is how can I, like you said, how can I take the negative and reframe it to make it into a positive, right? And like you said, I'm not Miss Unicorn and Rainbows every single day. But at the same time, I know that there's a reason why there was that negative. But how can I change it to be positive so that it doesn't affect me? And it really truly makes a huge difference. Or something that I teach a lot, one of our sessions in this class is how can you be mindful, right? And so when you think of mindfulness, you think of like big things. And here I always say, like this, for example, this summer, I had some programming and I was like, so being mindful, what does that make you think of? And they're thinking of like just the big things, meditation and this and that. And it was like huge things, which I was like, this is great. But have you ever thought about being mindful when you're doing your laundry? And that was, I had the most confused looks.
I'm
really,
sure, yeah.
When you say being mindful doing your laundry, but it's taking your time going through the pockets, right? You can find money, you can find wrappers, pens, whatever it is, but really taking your time. Oh, that shirt's inside out or that sock. And so it's just really taking the time and looking through things and not rushing. And I think as a society, we're always on the go, and it's a rush world that we live in now, and the instant gratification. And We Cope is one of those things that really just like stops us in our tracks and really makes us back up and look at the world from a different view, right? And I think that's something that as a society we need to do, just really not just for our mental health, but just for everything in general. Take the time and really cherish the moments, right? And so if you start doing that, your mental health is only going to improve day by day. And like I said earlier, it's not going to happen overnight. It will take time, but if it becomes a habit, eventually you'll notice a difference, and maybe you won't notice it, but those around you will notice it because it's become an everyday thing for you. So you might not notice it, but the folks around you will notice it. And I always joke that if you are more positive, you're a more pleasant person to be around.
Yeah. There is that wonderful benefit to it too. And speaking good benefits to it, I appreciate you sharing that, Kazuo, and I also appreciate I don't know if it was intentional or not, but another thing you brought up with this of, we do these things and we're hoping to improve our day-to-day, our mental health and a lot of this, but there's so many other benefits that come from it and so many side, pluses. I've always been horrible about being in the moment. I started to do this, this journey of mine, and part of it was, I got to be in the moment more. If I'm in the moment more, I'm appreciating right now, and I'm not immediately thinking of the negative of impact of this current event or something. But it got me to be in the moment more. It got me to do that. Got me to be around at more events and more things because people wanted me around more and stuff. And just simply enjoying my life more. In case nobody says it to you today, you deserve that. We all deserve that. We deserve to enjoy our lives. You deserve to be happy. It's okay. So many of us go walking around thinking we don't deserve that, and maybe not. Maybe it's a subconscious thing. But tell each other that. Tell yourself that you deserve to be happy. There's nobody out there listening that doesn't. That's another thing to keep in mind. And one other thing too with this, and I think a big difference between you and I's journey that I wish wasn't different, but it is. with me, and I was doing these things very grassroots, very looking up my own information and trying to, not self-medicate, but self-heal. And it made my process that much longer, and I think that much more difficult. And I still got here, but it took me a lot longer, and I could have used some resources. I could have used some help on it. That was on me for not seeking those out. But having an organization like this, or having a group like this, a We Cope like this, that you were able to take advantage of and everything, that's really noteworthy. It's not only great because you're not in this journey alone, but as you and I could relate to, and many out there that are listening, you could be the greatest teacher in the world or the greatest instructor in the world, but if you don't have any background in this, if you haven't experienced it yourself, it's harder for people to engage. It just is. We get it. We understand what it can be like to deal with these things. So individuals out there listening to us hopefully will hear that a little bit more and take advantage of this. And one last thing with it too, not only being not alone, but it's not kind of you show up for an hour and you're done. Good luck with everything. There are, as I see here, 7 sessions to be a part of this?
Correct. So this is a 6 to 7 week program, and it's about an hour and a half each time. And we really dive into the different topics, right, each week. And so we always follow up. And even after the fact, after the 6 to 7 week sessions, we follow up every 3 to 4 months just to see where you are and how you're doing, right? Because to me, it's not about here, it's a class, it's done. It's about taking care of the person that I might not be your best friend. I might not know you outside of this, but a small little email saying, hey, how are you doing? How has this helped you? Could you just share some benefits, right? And it's that follow-up that I feel just in the world today, we have just in everything that we do it, and then that's the end. There is no follow-up with anything that we do anymore. And so it might be a wonderful program, but if you don't follow up, how do you know if it's helping or not? How do you know if this person is still going through the trenches of their mental health struggles, right? And so I praise the program that we have and the researchers and the founders of this program that we have this follow through. And something that you had touched on, and then I really wanted to say too, was that, we have to make sure that we give ourselves that grace, right? I always talk about if I saw somebody going through the same struggles, what would I say to them? And if I said that to them, why not say that to myself? Because that self-compassion and that self-care is truly important. And how can I help others when I can't even help myself right now? And so, what's the saying? You can't pour from an empty bucket, right? Yeah. And so if you really truly want to help others, you have to make sure that you give yourself that grace. You have to make sure that you take care of yourself first before you can help others. And maybe it's doing it side by side, right? You're doing it together and you're filling each other's buckets, which would be wonderful. But if you don't take care of yourself, it's really hard to take care of those around you.
There's nothing more rewarding to me in this world than being there for my loved ones, being there for the people I care about in any way at all. I was not able to do that before as well as I am now. I had to take care of my own backyard before I could help them with theirs. And that was the big shift for me in getting me to finally really take some action in this. Yes, I was tired of being grumpy and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I realized I'm not able to do that. I'm not able to help people with their stuff if I'm not taking care of my own. So it's another thing that even if it takes twisting it that way, whatever you got to do to start working on that mental health of yours, you deserve it. You deserve to be happy, and you're not alone in it. And there's other things along with this too. Like we've already seen, you are a success story yourself, Kazuo, but there's been other stories too that people have shared with this.
Oh, 100%. And if you want more details, you can always go to UW Extension's website, and they have mental well-being success stories. But We Cope is one of those that when we do those follow-ups, so many people say that they continue the skills that we teach them, right? And that it's like I have something here that says 91% said We Cope had a lasting positive effect on their well-being. And you know what? I don't disagree with that at all because, even like I said, for me going through this by myself, because I wanted to see what it was like. It was very eye-opening, and it has had a lasting effect. And, like I have told you before, I've been working in my mental health since my teenage years, but the last I want to say 2 to 3 years, especially the last year, especially with after going through We Cope. It's been like my mindset has completely shifted, and I'm in a much better place, and I am there for my family, and I'm in the moment, and I am able to help those around me so much more. And I am a true believer that everybody has to take care of their own mental health before they can do anything else. And even if it's the small things, right? Just that little shift in a habit or a routine, that makes a huge difference. It doesn't have to be anything huge right now. It could just be the smallest thing. And like you had mentioned earlier, just being grateful, right? Every morning that I wake up, like I could have complained because it was cold this morning.
Right.
I could have. But I was grateful that I was able to get up. I was grateful that my kids were up and we had food and we have a house. And, we just have those things. And it's the little things that we have to make sure that we're grateful for.
Those little things build up to be something pretty big at the end of the day. You keep adding to it. Waking up is a win. Take that win. You enjoyed your breakfast. You had green lights going to work, whatever it is. I mean, it doesn't have to be the most gigantic thing, but you add those up, and at the end of the day, when you look back at them, you're like, oh, that was a good day. And even if it wasn't a great day, you can still take something good from it. And you deserve that. When it comes to this program, Kazuo, are there sessions coming up for people?
So we normally have a lot of online virtual options, and We Cope has been one of those programs in the local Wood County area that has been on pause for about a year since our good friend Jackie had passed away last year. But it's something that we are hoping to bring back in the community next winter, spring. So look forward to the new year. We will definitely be putting out flyers when there are new sessions out there, new classes. I will definitely share with James here. You can go to the Wood County UW Extension website. We have upcoming events there all the time. And so really, we are here for the community. And We Cope is one of those things that is truly important in our society nowadays. And I think it would be very beneficial. So just be on the lookout. There are some upcoming ones in the planning process right now for certain populations, but there will be one for the general community in the upcoming months.
And if you reach out and let them know that you're interested, not only does that help them see, okay, a lot of people are interested in this class, this program, but also maybe they can let you know when there is information on it. And, as I know I can only imagine for you all at Extension, and I know for me and Pam, it means a lot to us. Anything we can do to keep Jackie's legacy around and keep up the great work she was doing is another added benefit of this.
100%.
Kazuo, we've talked about some great stuff today. If people have follow-up questions, want to know more, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can always call the Wood County Extension office at 715-421-8440 about We Cope. And right now, we don't have any classes for the general community, but if you want to just have just put your name and number down on an interest form or something, right? Just so that we know who's interested. And if there's a huge enough interest, we could always start a class sooner than later. Or you can just shoot me an email. It's at kazoua.thao@wisc.edu.
Really appreciate you. Appreciate everything you've shared today. Way to be on your journey and everything. And certainly you shared the information about this program. Say hi to the rest of Extension for us.
Will do. Thank you, James.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us for another edition of WFHR's Rapids Report.